Well, thanks. It's great to be here. I was asked to talk a little bit about investing in technology. Is there a clicker? Yeah. Okay. Investing in technology. Obviously, we're all here to learn about the various categories of investment. We've talked about energy, and technology is the other side of the scale. So this is a presentation first about maybe a little about how and when, and then I'm going to take you inside what it takes to build a technology company, to give you some insight as you're making your investment decisions. You're going to get a chance to look under the hood and see what it takes to build one of these fantastic companies and bring it to a global scale. First of all, why invest in tech? For the last 200 years, every generation has had its world-changing innovation. If you go back far enough, the industrial age, machinery, oil, electricity. By the 50s, we're talking about computer technology. By the 90s, the internet. Today, it's AI. Each of these massive world-changing innovations created an enormous investment opportunity because that's the biggest mover. It changes everything in front of it. A special category of that investment is pre-IPO. And there's a couple of reasons that buying before the company gets to the stock market is obviously a far bigger opportunity. To start with, pre-IPO is not subject to the ups and downs of the stock market. They only become dragged along by the stock market after they're on the stock market. So pre-IPO is in its own category. Big fortunes have been made with small bets at the pre-IPO stage. I'm just going to do a little exercise. An investment made in Uber at its IPO point, $100,000, is worth today $143,000. Not bad. An investment made in their A round at the $50 million valuation point, which means that's probably when they were in 3 cities. They were not a startup anymore with just an idea and a PowerPoint and 3 cars. They had established a pattern. $100,000 then, any guesses as to what it might be worth today? 10 million? 50 million? Do we hear 233 million? So, the opportunities are there to make a fortune by investing early enough. And that's the story of pre-IPO. So there are obviously hundreds of thousands of pre-IPO companies. So I'm not even going to talk about what stage to invest. What I'm going to do is take you through the journey to get to where I am today and what it took to build. First of all, this is my second company. So there's a template here that we learned, we applied, and we succeeded with in the first company on a global scale, that we reapplied on an exponentially larger industry to make tomorrow's tech superstar. So building the next super unicorn is the name of this part of the presentation. So first of all, the founders, the entrepreneurs behind it, are the most important single key at the beginning. Their knowledge, their experience, their drive, their determination, and their strategy. And Rich and I had a digital platform exit, which is important to note because this is a digital platform business, in the $500 million range, which isn't a super tech unicorn, but what's notable is it took a 95% market share in 2 global industries. So in those industries, we took it all. And that created the template. When we finished that, we were a company of 600 people. Rich and I set our sights on one of the largest industries on the planet, travel. So our first company was our training wheels. Travel is one of the largest industries on the planet, fully 10% of the world's GDP. So to take down travel is a monumental task. We weren't expecting to get lucky and have something super successful in 3 years. Not that kind of unicorn. We laid in a strategy that would take a long time, cost a lot to build, but one that we felt, based on what we had learned, had every chance of success. So the problem, here we are. Everybody stays in hotels many times a year with 50-year-old technology and endless frustration. And here's tomorrow's technology. So you get to your room, there's a tablet. I forgot to bring it up, sorry. By the way, I'll be giving a presentation later today, so if you want to learn more, you can. There's a tablet sitting in the room getting rid of the phone and all that old junk, and on the tablet, waiting for you is...
Hi, Catherine. Welcome to the fabulous Marriott Marquis Chicago. I'm Amy, your AI concierge. I'm here to help make your stay more enjoyable. I can understand and speak many different languages. You can ask me anything. Can I make dinner reservations for you at our restaurant Woven and Bound? Or do you need directions to Michigan Avenue shopping? Need extra towels or directions to something here in the hotel? Just ask. Everything on the tablet is free for you to use, so don't be afraid to explore. And remember, I'm Amy. Call on me anytime. I'm always here to help.
A revolution coming to help us travel, but it's not about the guest room. So there's the tablet, it starts there, but it's really about tablet in millions of rooms, creating a global network and transactional platform for all of travel, and in the end, the app that helps you travel the way Uber helps you taxi. Takes the friction out of all your travel. The company that does that is a super unicorn at that Uber level. Our strategy starting out was not to just bring our product to the market and hope it sticks or spend some money on advertising. We were going to be the first company to win a global account to put those tablets in, and then from there build the rest of the industry. And then we were going to develop a monetization strategy through advertising so we could roll it out free. That is a heavy lift. So we could put the communication backbone into the industry. A tablet in every room launches that concierge. That's the brute force strategy that we decided to deploy when we started the company. Millions of dollars of investment went to winning the Hilton account. Years of building and investing in putting Hilton's biggest properties in free of charge to win the account. Years of passion and determination and milestones along the way. We've had many rounds of investment, each one defined by successes that our investors could see we were achieving what we said we would do at that stage. And those are demarcation points that you can see if you're making an investment in any company, especially if it's pre-IPO. Don't invest blindly, look into that history, look into the entrepreneurs. And then team building. A team of world champions has joined us. I won't go through all of these, but just the last two. Peter Irwin, all the elevators with the screens. Terry Jones, the founder of Travelocity, world leaders that have joined this world-leading team. It tells you something. This company is picking up the momentum to launch itself into the stratosphere, and unstoppable determination to get it through. And the results. We won the Global Master Service Agreement from Hilton in 2023. 13 years after we started and probably 30 million in, we win the account. Winning the account, we brought on the big advertising that was waiting for that kind of scale. And this is what it looks like in the room. You know, an ad that pays for the rollout. And then the hotels get to use that same platform in the room. And here's the actuals. Ads came on January 1st, 2025, 3 months ago. We are already, you can see the growth. We are already above the break-even point for our tablet. It will be 10 times this by the end of the year. The company will be in tremendous profit territory. But the whole ship is now lifting off after all these years of investment. We have just bought our major competitor, a company that cost just as much to put in place. But when they came to the industry and found out the 4-star hotels couldn't afford to buy, they made a hard left like the rest of my competitors and went after the short-term money and selling their product to the 5 stars, and there they all lived, and there they all stay at the end of a dead-end street. Where HCN invested in winning the biggest account in the world, finding a way to roll out free, and the proof that our strategy was the winner. I just bought that company for 5% of my stock. And this is a template. My co-founder, Richard, that guy on that first slide, was my competitor in the first company, and we did the same thing then. So this is a repeat story of a successful formula. The forecast from this year on is meteoric growth because now we have the account. We've dropped the cost to zero to roll into the industry, and now we're rolling and making money. A year from now, will be preparing for an IPO. And I just wanted, we've got a minute left, to cover one last thing, just to talk about scale. And if you're going after a pre-IPO company, make sure they're shooting for the stars. At 300,000, look at 26, 300,000 rooms, there's a 17 million room industry. We are at 100 million in revenue a year. That is $1 billion exit, or $1 billion IPO. 10 times revenue is low for digital networks. $1 billion IPO on not even 3% of the, 1% of the industry's rooms. And then out it rolls. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.